try to remember the microphone. So I'm finished doing my little ensemble here. So this is just a fraction of my antique frame collection that I wanted to show you. And I wanted to put them all together on the wall to get an idea of what I exactly have, because sometimes they're left in the closet and I just can't remember what I have. But let's sit down, and I wanted to talk to you for a few minutes about what I'm actually up to. So I'm going to move the camera. Finished the hummingbird painting that you saw from last week. I think it turned out quite nice with the orange flower and the greenery here. This was actually inspired from our last trip to Panama. They had beautiful hummingbirds there, and I promised myself that I would make a little collection of hummingbirds. So this is the first one that I made. And this is a special hummingbird that has a really long tail. They have them in South America. We have hummingbirds here too in Atlanta, but they don't have the long tails. So I thought this one was quite special. Then I finished also the little Chihuahua painting. That's how she turned out with her yellow orchids. The yellow orchids that I was telling you about that we also saw in Panama, and I was so inspired by their beauty that I just had to include them there in the painting. So that's what she looks like. And there was this lonely rock that I saw in the jungle, and I thought I would paint the rock with its moss and all that. So she's done too. I wanted to show you this recent print that I made. It's a painting that I made not long ago, a few months ago actually. And I made this print here in studio, and I want to make something similar, oval shape too, and I have a frame for it. I already sold this one, so I'm thinking that I would like to make another deer painting with floral theme as this one, but it's going to be horizontal. And I have this frame here chosen for that painting. I'm going to turn it around. Sorry about wobbling the camera everywhere, but I just wanted to show you something. I made this sketch. It's a very rough sketch of a doe or a deer. And I have this idea that it's going to be more or less here in the center. And it's going to have this flower motif going all around it. Now, as you can see, the frame is oval shaped, but it's actually rectangular when you take the frame off. So I'm going to continue the flowers all the way to the edges of the panel. And when I scan the painting and I make prints out of it, it's going to be rectangular shape, the actual print. So it's going to look nice as a print as well as the original painting with the frame on it, with this antique frame. So that's what we're going to work on next. And I want to show you a little bit about my ideas, where I've gotten the ideas and inspiration from. And we're going to start working on the flowers. Here we go. I've done now the basic layout of the drawing in life size. So this is the real size of the frame, the oval part that you see here, and everything else that goes beyond the oval part is actually behind the frame. So you won't be seeing that when the frame is on the painting, but I'm still going to paint this part of the board because when I print it, I want the print to be rectangle shape, and you'll be able to see the little details on the edges, but mostly it's going to be dark towards the edges. There's going to be a little bit of flowers there, but not a whole lot of detail. So most of the detail I'm going to just leave here in the middle. And the deer is the central focus of the painting. So there's going to be a lot of light coming from behind, and it's going to draw your eyes, or it's supposed to draw your eyes into the deer. And I just wanted to show you a few of the things that I get inspired with. So if you're looking for inspiration and thinking about how to get inspired, well, I like to use things that I just live with. So I love collecting antique little trinkets, like this little fellow here, a deer. And this is another one, and I have a few of the deer motif porcelain ornaments. And you know, a way to get inspired is just to use the things that you have around you. Like if you like certain objects, you can get ideas from them and create a magical fantasy world. So those are my inspiration sources. And then these are boxes that I got from my mother a long time ago, just vintage boxes. And I love the flower motifs on the boxes. They really inspire me a lot. Here's another one with like a much older painting on it. You can actually see the crackled surface on it on the tin box. I think it was painted blue underneath, and then they painted the antique motif on it. And if you look at this painting here, it resembles a lot this one in this book that I have here. So can you see that? I'm going to just move the camera a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about. So this book is Dutch flower paintings, 1600 to 1720. And back then, they just used to make such exquisite motifs of tulips and other flower paintings. So what do we have here? Let's see, I got the English roses, tulips, little white, I think they're called bells or something like that. Then I love orchids. So the orchid is going to be like the focal point. So the doe is kind of like being born from the tulip. Then this one was inspired by one of the paintings that I actually saw in the book that I just showed you. And these are little flowers, little purple flowers that we have in our neighborhood. I don't remember what they're called, but they're tiny. They come in purple and blue, and they're just so lovely. And I thought that they could be here kind of in like a little mountain here, and they're going into the air, like flowing into the air. Then we also have what's called a poplar tulip trees. We have lots of them here where I live, and they're just gorgeous. They look like green tulips. I've always wanted to paint them. Haven't done that yet, so I thought this would be the perfect moment. We have some more English roses in bud form, and some leaves over here, and then some trumpet flowers that are growing towards the main figure, giving it more kind of like a focus on it. So that's the idea, and I'll show you what it looks like when I actually put the frame on top. I think the composition looks pretty good, so we can get started on that. I'm really excited about this little guy here. So here are the brushes I got from the art store, and I got this little notebook too. I thought this notebook was so cute, and it's going to be perfect for my ideas that I usually get in the middle of the night, so I can just scribble them down here. And these are the brushes I got. I mostly got small numbers because I'm working on that hummingbird painting, and it has really fine details. So I think these will be just fine. I got a lot of number 4s. I got number 1, 2, and a 4, and some 6s, and 1 8. So these are going to be very nice. See, they're nice and soft. Really nice and soft. So we should get going on that painting, and I think we're all set. So this is where I come in, and over there is our living room, and this is kind of like a private entrance to my studio. So it's really nice if I have clients coming in, I can come in through this door, and it's completely private from the rest of the house. So I really like that I have that option. So you come in, and as you can see, my studio isn't huge. I'm not sure how many square meters there are here, but I would call it a medium-sized studio. I could definitely do with more space, but it's adequate for my needs. And this is the main wall that I use for painting larger works. So I hang larger works on those wooden hangers that John put for me up there. And I can easily paint really large paintings on that wall, so it's really comfortable. I do use the easel too for medium-sized paintings, but larger paintings are a bit hard to paint on that. It doesn't go all the way down, so I have problems sometimes painting the bottom part and the top part. Okay, so here on the left side, this is my storage area. And as you can see, it could do with a little bit of tidying up. Got all these boxes down there. I have tons of little vintage frames in there too. I should probably go through some of them and figure out if I should just throw away some of it or do something with them. Then I have all the glues and gesso stuff over here on the bottom. And again, I have more little frames over here. Vintage frames, metal frames, and all kinds of frames. Then this table here is partly Frida's table and partly my table. So as you can see, Frida is taking half of the table because she loves sleeping in my studio, and this is where we put her dishes, where she eats and stays here throughout the night. John made this bed for Frida, so it's really beautiful bed. It was made from an old wine bottle crate. And this is a used secondhand table I bought, and that one was inherited by John's aunt. So I thought this was perfect for my studio because it's got all these little drawers in there. And I have little trinkets in there for preparing my orders. I have tapes and things and everything that I need for preparing orders in here. So it's a super useful table. And over here on this wall, I usually have paintings, smaller paintings, but most of them have gone to shows now or they've been sold. So it looks really empty here. And this is what I was telling you about, that I want to do something to these walls that they won't always be empty while my paintings are at shows. I want to have them actually with something there always so that I can look at it and feel good, because it looks rather dreary and sad. Over here, I was thinking that I could put maybe one shelf for these brushes, because these brushes are always here on the table and they're taking some space from actually working here on this table. So I was thinking that maybe I could put them over here, like have one shelf and then have at least 2 paintings up here on the wall. Then I've got 7 windows, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it's beautiful. I mean, it's great to have all this light in the studio, but sometimes in the morning, the light, sorry about that, the light is coming from this way, and then it moves around the house and comes from over here in the early afternoon. And in the late afternoon, it's coming from this window and that window. Sometimes I have problems when I'm actually painting right here because the sun is shining and I can't see what I'm working on. So I have to use the blinds and put them down. So that's that area. Then over here, this is actually the space where I paint most of the time on my easel if they're small to medium sized paintings. And I use this little easel here that I just propped up here on the larger easel. I use that for painting smaller works. And then I have the computer screen there if I'm looking at some image that I'm actually copying here. So I'm using that as my go-to image source over there. Then this is my trolley for painting, and I put all my paints here on this piece of wood. So John helped me cut that piece of wood and I use it as my easel. I don't like the small easels. I like to really spread out all the color and have a white background. So this is just wax paper that I just put here, and I can see all the colors really well on the table. And I should have more of these because I'm always needing more of these because I go through my brushes really fast. They get all stiff and old. So I need to put these away somewhere. I don't actually like throwing away my brushes because I like to have a memory of my brushes. So now we're on this side of the studio where I usually sit on this high table. So John made me this beautiful high table a couple of years ago for my birthday, and I just love it. I still want to do some detailing here on the legs though. I got this idea that I want to paint some little flowers there and make it look nice. And the same thing with this table that he made for me too. I know I have a wonderful husband, and so I'm going to do the same thing over here. I want to decorate it with flowers. And this wall I want to paint. Not sure yet if it's going to be kind of like a purple color like my chair or a mossy green. I'm not sure yet. But so yeah, this area over here is mostly used for sketching on the high table, and I had it made specially so that I could fit the scanner in there underneath it. So it's not part of this piece of furniture here, but it's sitting on that piece of furniture, and it's really easy to just bring out and lay over here when I'm doing really large works, and it can still be connected to my computer over there. So if you have a small space, like a little studio space, a great way to make use of the space is to have high tables and then to put smaller tables underneath it. I mean, you could even have those kind of fold out tables that you can use for sketching and doing other stuff, or just laying something on the table. So they're really useful for saving space. Then over here I have my printer for just normal documents, and some admin stuff over there on top of the shelf. Then I like to burn my incense over here, and I love my little plants. I'd like to actually have more plants in the studio, but I don't have too much space, so that's one of my little plant babies there. And then over here, the chair, my wonderful comfortable chair, I have to share with Frida. Yes, I often find her snoozing on the chair, so we're kind of like fighting over it, especially during winter time. Summertime, she goes out into the garden and leaves me the chair to myself. So yeah, I do love my chair. This is where I do most of my computer work, and I love to collect little antique vintage trinkets, like you already know. And these are some of the part of the collection. This is my grandmother's coffee cup from, I think it's from 1922. 1922, yeah, so over 100 years old. I'm really careful with that cup. And here is its baby cup, and all of these things that you see here I have actually painted in my paintings. So just surround yourself with things that inspire you and give you ideas, and soon you'll see them appearing in your paintings. And over here, this is probably the most favorite part of my room because I have my bookcase, my art books. Now, I don't have a huge collection of art books. I had at least 5 times as many books as you can see there before I left Mexico in 2013. So when I left Mexico, I had to sell a whole bunch of my stuff and give away. So I gave a lot of my books away just to be able to make that move. So I only took my favorite ones with me, and perhaps I have a few editions there that I've bought again. Then I have my interior design magazines over there on the bottom, which I just absolutely love. They were my mom. She used to love interior design magazines, and I get a lot of my ideas from those magazines. Then over here I have my mom's collection of antique pharmacy bottles that inspire me a ton too. These are little parts of a broken doll. The doll was actually my mom's and I broke it. And these guys over here, I forgot to show you, are cicadas. So we have cicadas here in Atlanta, and they usually grow in tropical regions. And what else? I have my vintage antique clock collection that I absolutely love, and that dress was mine when I was really young. And this painting over here, I did not want to sell or give away to anybody, so I decided it's going to be part of my collection, so it's just there. This is a vintage book I have on antique crocodiles. So yeah, I don't know if there's something that I haven't told you about yet. That's pretty much it. That's it. Yeah, that's my studio for now. And we are going to paint these walls, this wall and the wall on the other side of the room, and then we'll see what it looks like. So I hope you like the tour.